You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back.
At this point, I would like to introduce a few dignitaries amongst us. First and foremost, I'd like to introduce Mr. Sam Okudzeto, who is also a founding chairman of the Prisons of Ghana Ministry. The Prison Ministry. We have Mr. Felix Quansar, the board chairman of DENG Limited. So if you can stand up so that. We have Mr. Kumfiboya, Executive Director of the Prison Ministry. We have Mr. Kenneth Cornelius, the CEO of DENG Limited. And then from GIZ, we have the project manager for the program manager for the Green People's Energy. I'll call Mr. Buenya to do us the honors of introducing the ministry people who are here.
Thank you. So briefly, we heard from Professor Clegg Lamte, the chairman of the Prison Ministry of Ghana. Seated right behind him is Mr. Alfred Ayer, the National Treasurer of the Prison Ministry. We also have the administrative manager of the Prison Ministry. There's a lady, she just went into the bus. And then our accounts officer. I saw him around a moment ago. But for the prison service, okay, that is Mr. Richmond Otu. That's the accounts officer, and beside him is Mr. Emmanuel Ofe, our general officeman. For the prison service, we have Mr. Oku, Director of Prisons, in charge of Agric. And then beside him is Mr. Onyeji Godwin. He is Director of Prisons in charge of Akuse Prisons Male. Behind him is the 2 IC of the female prisons, I believe, at Akuse. Yes. So that is a representation from the prison service. We are indeed grateful for the high-level representation. Here also with us is the founding and managing director of Ghana Noni Project. And that is Mr. Jacob Ashan. He was on the field, but he's come back. I believe you may do well to interact with him about Noni. At the back, on the last row, is SWO1 Eric Lawe. Mr. Lawe is the boss of where we are. He is the center manager now. By him is Mr. Gabriel Mensah, an agronomist and an ardent sympathizer and helper to us here. By his right is Mr. Nyaku. Mr. Nyaku represents the people for whom we have this project, the ex-inmates who have exited. You will notice that I came in a car driven by Mr. Nyaku, and he last year exited from the Nsawam prisons. So he represents the people who will be here. I believe that is the number I can comfortably introduce. Thank you.
I'll now like to invite the opening address from Reverend Famina Sego.
The chairman of DENG Limited, project manager, Green People, our own Uncle Sam, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor, and I'm excited we are here this morning, and I wish to welcome you to our halfway home project this morning. It's been a long journey of about 31 years. We started funding had been an issue. CBN along the line came to our aid, and today we are happy DENG is here, GIZ is here on board with us. We thank God and we thank you all for coming. It's going to be a long journey, and we believe that this is the beginning of a relationship, and this will be the beginning of a partnership together. The Lord, by his plans, have brought you into contact with prison ministry at this time for a purpose. And we believe that together we are going to make the lives of our ex-inmates better, because the idea of this project is to provide a halfway to the final settlement of all prisoners, where they will acquire skill and resettle, so that whatever takes them to the prisons will not take them in again. So once again, I welcome you to this program, and we wish that we're going to have a journey together. May the Lord bless you. Amen.
Thank you very much, sir. We now call on Mr. Sam Okudzeto to come and give us a few words.
Well, I will not introduce anyone. I will just say that distinguished ladies and distinguished gentlemen, you will see that I am beaming with smiles for this day, because we have waited. That was the directive that I had. Is that okay now? I'm a distance away from each of you, so I won't spread anything. In any case, I'm the only one who had 4 jabs. It's an exciting day, and the reason why it's exciting for me to be alive and to be here is simply that in 1985, I was an inmate at Akuse prison. And when I normally say I'm an inmate, I see people look at me as if it's an impossibility, but it did happen. That was my 3rd incarceration by the people who said I was talking too much. I was not tried, I was not convicted, but I was nevertheless inside the Akuse prison. And at that time I noticed the size of the mosquitoes at Akuse prison. And I said they had deliberately sent me here to be bitten and killed by mosquitoes, but I will survive. And while I was coming, Professor Foley, he gave me a whole jar of chloroquine. I never took one, but I became a nurse. I administered it to the inmates who were always having malaria. So it shows you the power of God. When he wants to shock you, he really shocks you properly. But the truth is that after that, I helped to found Ghana Prisons Ministry, and I was its first chairman for 10 years. I gave that up, and now we have a distinguished individual, medical person, who is the chair. But it just shows you how people volunteer for these works. Because yesterday I was telling someone that I know a lot of people lobby for positions because they get directors' allowance, sitting allowances. That's what we call it. But this is one institution where there is no allowance. In fact, we rather give. And so when we formed the prisons ministry, my own experiences at James Ford Prison, Usher Ford Prison, BNI, Akuse prisons, I was enthused to say that it is important, because when I see the inmates They are there during the day. You have very little work for them to do. But then, when I was at Osherford, I realized that the colonialists had a different mentality. At one side of Osherford were workshops for weaving, shoemaking, carpentry, and so on and so forth. So I said, but why are those things closed down and no longer functioning? And just to go a little bit back, I had served on the prison's council itself. That time I was a representative of the Ghana Bar Association. And when we went to the castle, this was Rollins who had imprisoned me, and I am back in front of him to swear me in as a member of the prison's council. And people were surprised. They said, how? And I said, it has nothing to do with him. I was nominated by the Ghana Bar Association. He had no power to say no. He has to appoint me and give me a certificate of appointment. And so that's a little diversion. It's just to say that because of that, we said no. Let us do something. So we established the prisons ministry. And the first thing we thought of doing was to implement some of the ideas we had when I was on the prisons council. Because I will tell you, Director, what the decision we took at that time, which still has not been implemented, was that we should have facilities in the prisons for prisoners who already have knowledge of carpentry, weaving, even agric, and so on and so forth, to utilize that talent where they are serving in the prisons, because they are not idle any longer. Now, the decision was that the income that comes should be divided into three. 1/3 will be saved for the prisoner, so that when he is discharged, he collects that money and then he can start to do something on his own. The other 1/3 will be used for the administration of the prisons, and also another for the care, so that the prisoners being there is no longer a charge on the national fund, because he or she is contributing to make that. But I'm saying that that idea has still been implemented, but it's over to you. But then what the prisons ministry decided was simple. We said, okay, when people are discharged from prison, they have nowhere to go because they are rejected by their own families. We call them ex-convict, are not correct? They say ex-convict. It's a taboo, nobody will employ you. But we said that cannot be just a stain for life. And so it would be a good idea if you can provide what we call a halfway home. As soon as you are discharged, the prisons ministry takes you, brings you to the halfway home. There, the talents you've already acquired in the prison, you can still utilize them. If you are a carpenter or a joinery person, there will be a workshop here for you to work. If you don't know anything else agriculture, you can learn on the job at least. You can farm. Whatever else that you have learned or you have knowledge of, or even if you don't have that knowledge, the facility will be available for you to learn that knowledge. In addition to that, of course, you earn an income. And after a period, you can take a decision yourself as to when you want to go back. But now that you have a little money in your account, the family will say, awa, atu. Am I mistaken? Because now you have a little money. When you don't have any, they don't want to see you. So this is the basis for what we are doing here. So 31 years ago, we acquired this land. And we acquired a huge one also in the north, and then another one in the western region. But the question was that we needed the resources to develop it. and that became a problem. And then, of course, as you can see, this is far away from town. The Electricity Company of Ghana is not going to put poles to bring power here. But the God we worship is a great God. Because I happen, with my Danish friend, to have formed DENG as a solar company. And today, the two institutions have joined together, and we are witnessing what the Lord has planned long ago. So when the Christians are singing a song, they say it's a miracle making God. People think it's just a song. It is not just a song. It's true, it's real, and it happens really. So today is a joyous day for me, and I'm sure it is for the Gwenya. So also are my directors from them. They are overjoyed to be part of this epoch-making situation that we are in today. Because I say that there are many areas in Ghana where people are rushing to town and the young men come there. They have no job, they have nothing to do, they join gangs, become thieves, robbers, and so on and so forth. When there's fertile land which is around. But the problem often is that there's no water. Is that not correct? Water is life. But if you can have a solar power that can pump the water, it means that you don't need a pipe. Solves the problem. So, prisons, we are prepared to work with you, because I think one of the recommendations we made on the Prisons Council was what we call open prisons. They said people being locked up is archaic. It's no longer sensible. Have a prison like a place like this, where the inmates work during the daytime. There are nice places they can sleep in the night. They are well fed. Where do you think they are going to run away to? It's not necessary. It's not necessary. So let's do a little bit of rethinking and see whether those old ideas can still not brought into fruition. For the benefit of the country, and also for each of us. Because my charge to everyone is that you may have been put in such a position for such a time like this. You may have been put into the position in which you are in now by God for such a time like this. So leave a legacy. Leave a legacy so that tomorrow they will say, when we have the director of prisons who have agreed, this and this and this is what he was able to do. When I was the commander for Akose prisons, this and this is what I was able to do. When I was in charge of the female prisons, this and these are the things that I was able to do. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you very much for that insightful background to the whole prison ministry. Thank you very much, Mr. Sam Okudzeto. We are always happy to have you around us. Thank you, sir. We now call on Mr. Felix Quansar, the board chairman of DENG Limited, and also Bofam Foundation, to give us a few words as well.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We at Bofam Foundation and DENG Limited are very grateful for the opportunity to be part of this program. Indeed, it means a lot to us. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are very conscious of the fact that social equity by nature does not just happen. The conditions that allow all to participate and reach full potential naturally can be unfair and unjust. Apparently, it becomes imperative for the privileged operatives of the society to give back to society, to promote and improve equity in development and society as a whole. And in this noble cause, the Bofam Foundation and DENG Limited have supported these projects, providing support to the solar pumping water and lighting projects. Kasunya halfway project, I hope I've called it well, is a classic example of promoting social equity, and I say kudos to the Prisons Ministry of Ghana, and especially the benevolent churches and corporate institutions that have made this Prisons Ministry a reality and not just a dream. Ensuring discharged prisoners can have their lives back again, and with Christian living and work ethics, can only be so beautiful and indeed just and fair to the beneficiaries who, under normal circumstances, would have been stigmatized and marginalized in the context of our society. We at Bofam Foundation and DENG Limited cannot find any other goal just and more rewarding. We are therefore very happy to be a partner in this project, supporting the sustainable operation of the project. The Prisons Ministry initially contacted DENG for this facility in November 2017. We visited the site and commenced work eventually in November 2021. Here we are today. The project is ready for commissioning. We are also very grateful for the cooperation of the Green People's Energy GIZ in making this happen. Bofam, I'll just give a little background of Bofam and DENG, as somebody may be asking, who is Bofam, who is DENG? Bofam Foundation is a non-governmental organization founded in 2015 by Fred Boston and Marianne Boston, who have lived in Ghana and worked in Ghana for over 40 years. At Bofam, our primary objective is giving back to society, and our focal goal is to assist with social intervention, emphasizing on education, health, environment, agricultural development in rural Ghana, and also promoting job creation, social equity, and improved livelihood among rural society. DENG Limited is a private limited liability company providing high standard advanced engineering solutions to our valued customers in West Africa, particularly in the field of solar power systems, generating sets, water pump, weighing equipment, and also providing technical support and training. I must say that the overarching goal of the Prisons Ministry of Ghana cannot be overemphasized. And I am personally very pleased to use this platform to encourage more churches in Ghana and corporate organizations to support this goal and the various gestures to ensure the sustainability of promoting social equity for discharged prisoners and making them more purposeful in the society. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Quansar. Now we call the program manager for the Green Proposal Energy GIZ, Mr. Raphael, to also say something.
Honorable High Representatives of the Prison Ministry of Ghana, Mr. Chairman, DENG Limited, esteemed members of the steering committee of GIZ, Green People's Energy, and I'm very happy to be here, and I fully support whatever the speakers who were standing here before me have pointed out. I would like to frame a little bit why German International Corporation has co-funded also this initiative. The project has received funds from the German Ministry of Economic Development and Cooperation, BMZ, to empower rural communities. So please, I'd just like to turn to show you. So we empower rural communities, and power means energy, electricity. So we think, and that is also to our ministry, that here in Ghana, communities in rural areas have a high potential for economic activities. And if we look around, and there were some speakers saying, pointing it out already, there is no electricity. I have been here to places where the grid was just 100 meters near to the next farm, but as the electricity doesn't come down on earth, let's say, farmers cannot use electricity for their businesses, meaning, first of all, pumping water or cooling or whatever purpose is used in agriculture. So this is why the project here has some key elements. So we train professionals in the solar-powered irrigation. We work together with the technical universities in Ho, Sonyani and Tamale to train professionals of installation companies, like for instance DENG and others, extension officers from JIDA, finance officers from rural banks, that they all understand and apply on a high quality standard solar pumping and irrigation. That's ongoing, and the offers are there. And then with funds from the project, we support farmers to acquire solar pumping and irrigation systems. And here we work together with a few companies. One of the companies, DENG, and my colleague Frank Lamptey, please stand up. He is the man behind that because he makes it possible that the farmers get a good design system, we check the system, and then we commission it, and then we co-finance it. Meaning, it's not a donation. We want to see also from the farmers that they invest in that technology. Because you know about donations. It's good to receive, but then after a while, if it doesn't work so well, it was a donation. So we want also to see that there's a real business case behind it. And so we work together with DENG and others to offer 150 systems or 150 farmers to support 150 farmers this year in acquiring solar pumping and irrigation systems. And we all do that. It's small numbers. We hear that in Ghana there are 10,000s of pumping systems needed to empower also farmers and communities. But anyhow, it's a small portion that we can give with the funds that we have from German taxpayers. And we see here that it is an opportunity also, as you said, for those prisoners who are discharged to start a new life. And agriculture activities is one of the backbones of formal or informal work in Ghana. So I think it is a very focused and a very smart initiative as well. And so we are very happy that we have contributed also some funds and some knowledge to your initiative. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Raphael. And I also want to mention that DENG has a solar training center. So I'll be knocking on your door shortly so that we can collaborate on some trainings like you're doing with the technical university. Thank you very much, sir. At this point, let's stretch our legs, go to the place where we have installed the system, and then properly cut the tape for the to commission the project. Thank you. So please, let's go this way.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home. Come with me.
My name is I am a technician and then so we installed the system. So this is a solar water pumping system. Okay. So the pump itself is in the borehole. And we have the panel. And we have this as a control. So this is the main controller. And this is the PV disconnect. So the panels are connected here before they come here. Yeah, so the cables come in here. So the PV disconnect is this way. We have off and on. Okay. So before you turn on the system, you have to turn on the PV disconnect first. Then after that, there is also a switch here which turns on the pump and off. Then there are these light indicators here telling you what is happening at any point in time. So we have the first one, which is the power. So when that one is on, then it means the system is ready to work. Then the second one is when the pump is on. So when the pump is on, this one will show green, and the number of flashes will tell the speed of the pump at that time. Then the third one is more like a false light, which indicates either there is a problem with the power, if the power is not sufficient, or there is low water in the borehole. So when the water level goes low, then it shows that this one is for, the fourth one is for remote monitoring, where you could, if that one you have to install an additional device so that you could monitor it. You can shut the pump off wherever you are online in a car. And the third one is the Bluetooth connection. So we have a pump scanner where you can connect and it will tell you the volume of water that you are getting from the pump at a particular moment, the power and all those data that you need. And you can also get the data as in the volume of water that has been pumped within the day, the week, the month, and the year. So currently, so that's how it stands. So you should I turn it on?
Yeah, turn it on.
Okay. So when we turn it on, the water will come from that side. So first I'll turn on the PV disconnect. So now this one indicates that the pump is ready. There's power. So when I turn this one on, when this green light comes on, then there's plenty of water now. So the system has been connected in such a way that the same pump fills the tank up there. It also fills the tank here. So then there will be more tanks, and also we have an extra outlet because sometimes when it is late in the evening and the sun is not up, they will use the tank here to do the watering. So that one will fall by gravity. But if it has to go up this way, then it means that it will be difficult. So we have also connected a line that will go up so that if they have to put another tank up there, they can also connect. So there are 3 connections, one going into the tank up there, and one that will go to this tank, and an extra exit that will go to an extra tank they will keep up there. Or if they want to water direct from the line, then they can connect to that.
Gone, it's an empty home.
Then we have stoppers.
Come on back where you're ready to belong. You are always welcome home. Welcome.
4 batteries, a 2 kilowatt inverter to take all the burning. Thank you.
Mainly light.
Many lights.
Okay,
Okay,
so it will come, there will be no appliances coming out.
There is a full water.
Shall we call on DOP Hansen Ewuku to give us the closing remarks?
Good morning to all distinguished guests here. I think today has been a very remarkable day, witnessing, this maiden project, the halfway home for inmates who have been discharged from the Ghana prison service. And we are happy to be part of, to witness this program today. And I think it has been wonderful to see seeking support for inmates who have been discharged and having nothing to take home, but have great people thinking about their welfare. And I hope the sponsors for this big project had a great idea that was nip in the bud, but today God has made it possible for all of us to witness this project. And I trust the beneficiaries will be so glad and happy to be able to be part of this program, which is going to support them in their future integration into the bigger society. I don't think this project will end here. The prison ministry have even assured us of other project sites that they have. And it is my belief that with this project being commissioned today, it will go on to solicit for other sponsors, said that the dream of the prison ministry will definitely have a greater bearing on inmates as well as the society at large. We are grateful for all who took their time to be present here to witness this great ceremony. And we know that the good Lord who brought us here will definitely send us back to our various places that we came from. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you very much, sir. We call Mr. Nyako to come and give us the closing prayer.
Indeed, O Lord, you have done a great thing. 31 years ago, dreaming, vision. Today, being the first day of February 2022, it has been accomplished. You are a great God. And we will not leave here without thanking you, O Lord. Because you are the Genesis. You are our helper, and you have provided all that have come to this successful end. That day we said we thank you. We are so grateful for all that you have done for us. We are thanking you for all the hands that have joined together to bring the success of this commissioning of this halfway home for people like us. Daddy, we thank you. Daddy, we bless your name. As we are thanking you, we also want to commit the rest of the day into your hands, our journey back home into your hands. And we ask for traveling mercies. We ask that you continue to provide, oh Lord, all that it will take to complete this project.
You are the provider, and we know you are going to provide. You'll never be thanked, and you will never come or bring it to a successful end. Therefore, you being the Alpha and the Omega. We trust this commission into your hands. We trust all the project into your hands. We trust our life into your hands. And we know that we are all going to live to see the successful end of this project. We thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for this success of our program. In Jesus' name, we have prayed. Amen.
Thank you very much. Finally, I want to say thank you to everybody who made our time to come here today to witness this very important project. As you go back, may the Lord lead you to all your destinations and whatever you may find yourself doing for the rest of the day and the rest of the year. Happy New Year and thank you for coming.
Usher forth prison. That I noticed that there was a whole large area which was previously workshop, where they have carpentry, they have shoemaking, they have weaving, so many things that the prisoners were doing, and they were shut down. And so my dream has been if that can be revived, so that the prisoners can do something gainful while they are in the prison with their time. And also as an income earner, because they can earn an income for themselves and also for the prison. Indeed, I believe that the prison may not need subvention from government. If we can just get it properly organized, they could be able to earn enough income. And then when the prisoner is discharged from prison, he would have reserved for him a savings that can enable him to start his own entrepreneurship program. This is my dream.
Okay, as a country, what has been the challenge of not being able to implement some of these suggestions you put up some years back?
Well, I guess it is dependent upon the whole governance structure. Everything that happens, as soon as you mention it, they say, oh, they are waiting for the government. Everything that happens, they say government. And sometimes I get worried and I ask myself, who is government? All of us are part of government. And there are a lot of things that voluntary organizations can do. There are a lot of things that people who God has endowed with can give a little extra to help other people also. And I think this is the lack of this is what has delayed this project up till now. But as I said, I'm happy that today it has happened.
Okay, lastly, please, you made mention of having acquired similar space or land elsewhere in other parts of the country.
Yes, we have.
Can you update us?
Yes, we have. We have a huge land at Bimbila, which was also meant for projects similar to this. We have another one in the western region, also meant for a project like this. Indeed, the concept was to have it in all the regions where there are prisons. We should have halfway homes, because if you see the number of people who are going in and out of prison, they are large. And if you see the number of them who are repeat offenders, who have been discharged, but because they can't find anything else to do, they go and commit another offense, they find themselves back there. There are many. And so the more of these institutions that we are able to establish, the better it is for the country. Not just for the individual, but for the country itself also. Because it will mean that there will be less crime. And more people will learn to be able to earn a living by themselves, or know that it is good to earn a living by yourself, instead of, let's say, going robbery and killing and maiming, highway robbery, and all this violence that we see going on all over the place. This is my prayer, and this is my dream.
Okay, so sir, can you please take us through the characteristics of the project? What constitutes the halfway home?
Well, the whole idea is that we will build a place where you have a manager who is in charge, and so he supervises it. You can have an agronomist who is there to teach the discharged prisoners who are inmates here how to farm, but also to have other kinds of workshop. Let's say a carpentry workshop where they can be making furniture and joinery, any kind of trade, shoemaking, any kind of trade that people are able to do we should have a place here so that if the prisoner has already acquired these skills in the prison, he can use this as a way to earn income, and so that when he goes back home, I was telling someone that people will say, awa, too, because now the person has some money in his pocket, so he's welcome. But if you don't have money, nobody wants you. They say you are ex-convict, go away. So this is the whole idea behind it. But if the person doesn't even have the skill while he's in the prison, if he comes here, we will teach him those skills. And he can learn to fend for himself. I think this is the whole idea, to train the individual so that he becomes a person who can be confident of himself and his own living and not depend upon somebody else. This is the whole idea behind it.
Okay, so we've seen a hostel facility already on the land. Do you have any discharged prisoners already occupying it?
Well,
and
don't
if
forget
yes,
that.
how many?
No, right now I think there are only about 3 or 4 people. But the whole idea was this was actually not meant to be the hostel. This was meant to be the manager's place of residence. The construction of the hostel facility has actually not started. But we don't want to wait. We want to be using this for the time being. So this one we're going to have people inside it, will have bunker beds, so that many of them can. After all, it's only a place of sleep, nothing more than that. But during the day, they are busy, they are working, and so on and so forth. This is the idea behind it.
I think lastly, when you were delivering your remarks at the program, you made mention that then we should be able to run a system where we have open space prisons.
Yes, open prisons.
Yeah, open prisons. Yeah, so what would be the, looking at our society, what would be the motivation for our society to maybe want to consider that as a major reform?
Well, you see, the question is that you lock up individuals, and we look at prison as a place where you are locked up. And you are commanded to go to bed about 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock in the morning, they open you. And then you sit down idling because there's not much for you to do. There's no work for you to do. When you have an open prison, which it means is that your bed is only for sleeping. And so during the daytime, you are free to move about, to do your work. If it is farming, if you're a carpenter, you can be in the workshop working, just like any other carpenter you see in town does. If you are a shoemaker, you can be there making the shoes just the same as if you do which one. So the concept of feeling that you are locked up doesn't arise. That psychological issue is completely out of your mind. You don't feel locked up. This is the idea that we think that an open prison is a better place. Mind you, when I say this, I see people who talk about hardened criminals. And I say, no, it is not meant for those. You understand? There are security issues involved. So those security people, they are kept separately, not in this kind of prison. But for the ordinary prison, look at a petty thief. I mean, what harm is he to anyone? Not much. The man who has beaten his wife, and you go and you sentence him, what harm is he to anyone? So, I can enumerate a lot of crimes which are absolutely meaningless. Or even the man who has forged accounts and stolen money. You're locking him up for what? You get the picture. But if he can be here and receive fresh air, maybe even that he'll do a lot of rethinking. You know, he'll reevaluate his life and ask himself, what I've done is wrong. I need to reform my life. You understand? And this is a nice opportunity to think, okay, let me learn something so that when I go out, I can be able to use it. So this is the whole idea behind it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we are here for the commission of the solar power irrigation system, which was supported by the Green People's Energy Project for the prison ministries of Ghana.
Okay, so how is the solar pump going to contribute to the agric production of the prison industry?
With agriculture, one of the main setbacks in the country is access to water. So with this solar power irrigation system, the inmates or those responsible here or the farmers get to irrigate all year round. without no setback or challenge with water issues.
I'm Engineer Felix Quansar.
Okay, so at least now what motivated your outfit to be part of this? What are we witnessing today?
There are two organizations that were involved in supporting this project. First is DENG, which is the engineering company. The second is Bofam Foundation. Bofam Foundation is basically more into social interventions. It's a benevolent society. It's a non-governmental organization. But apparently, the two companies, since Bofam was interested in helping, DENG, also as a sister organization, decided to provide technical support and also additionally install the lighting system. It basically is all for social intervention, social equity, as I mentioned earlier.
Okay, can you share with us the cost involved?
A total cost of 150,000 Ghana cedis was invested in this project.
Okay, and if you can put it under donation, is it?
Yes, it's purely donation. It's a pure donation, yes. The GIZ supported the project as well, so it's a pure donation.
One would ask, from DENG and Bofam, what would be your direct or indirect benefits if this to run, if this project is to run?
This, of course, our first benefit is the social equity. We are happy. It's a CSR, giving back to the society. That's our first benefit. I mean, that satisfaction is there. Additionally, it's also to demonstrate to other institutions as well as other customers how solar system could help in the rural setup, as to how we could farm in a dry area like this. So basically, yeah.
Okay. Just a minute. Is there anything you want to add from your end as far as projects of this nature is concerned? Particularly what you're into and all that.
The first thing I want to say is that the kind of satisfaction DENG and Bofam has stems from the fact that we're giving the discharged prisoners their lives back, supporting how sustainably this project could run. Because this project, as we have heard earlier, has been constrained basically because of water. They do their plantation in the dry season, it wets off. So basically, to make this project sustainable has been our first. And what we would love to say here is that we want to encourage those churches just supporting the prisons ministry. I mean, to encourage other churches as well to support this worthy cause. I mean, it's more of what Jesus would have done, giving lives or bringing joy to the people. So this is what I would say for this project. And also to say that we are ready also to look into similar projects where we could use our technical expertise to provide solutions to such projects.
Thank you.
Okay.